A maid, standing behind her wealthy employer in a luxurious Chicago mansion. Out of nowhere, she places her trembling hand on his back, grips it tightly, and with raw courage she whispers, "Shut up." The room freezes. Why would a maid dare such a thing? What secret pain forced her to break her silence? Stay until the end, because the truth you're about to hear will break your heart. The rain hammered down against the tall glass windows of the Anderson Mansion. A modern palace sitting on the edge of Lake Michigan. Outside, the city of Chicago shimmered with restless lights, but inside the house, the atmosphere was heavy, tense, almost suffocating. Michael Anderson, a powerful real estate tycoon in his late 40s, had just returned home after a disastrous day. He was a man used to winning, a man whose name commanded respect in boardrooms, whose wealth built towers that touched the skyline. But tonight, his empire felt like it was slipping. He had lost a multi-million-dollar deal, and with it, his patience. The front door slammed. His footsteps echoed through the marble-floored hallway. Droplets of rain clung to his expensive trench coat. He didn't bother removing his shoes. As he stormed into the dining room, he hurled his leather briefcase onto the glass table with a loud thud. "Isabella!" he barked, his deep voice vibrating through the house. From the kitchen, a gentle voice responded. "Coming, sir." Isabella, the maid, appeared. She was in her early 30s, her dark curls tied back neatly, her plain apron damp from cooking. Her face carried both quiet strength and unspoken sorrow. For 2 years, she had worked in this mansion, raising not only plates and glasses, but also the spirits of the family. Michael's wife, Laura, sat silently at the far end of the dining table. Once a vibrant woman, she now looked worn, as though years of living under Michael's shadow had dimmed her light. Their daughter, Lily, a delicate 10-year-old, hid near the stairwell, peeking nervously. She adored Isabella, the only person in the house who offered her warmth without conditions. Michael growled, "Where is my dinner? Do you people not understand the meaning of punctuality? I run an empire with precision, and yet in my own home, I get failure after failure." Isabella placed a tray of roasted chicken and vegetables on the table, carefully. "I'm sorry, sir. It took a little longer today," she said softly. But Michael was not in a mood to listen. He kicked his chair back violently, his voice echoing like thunder. "This is unacceptable. Every single day there's something wrong. I don't need excuses. I need perfection. Do you even know what that means? I built this fortune by demanding the best, and I won't tolerate incompetence under my own roof." Laura lowered her eyes, swallowing her silence. She had learned long ago that speaking up only made the storm worse. But Lily, watching from the shadows, trembled at her father's fury. Her small hands clutched the stair railing, her heart racing. She couldn't bear it any longer. She darted across the room, straight into Isabella's arms. The maid bent quickly, gathering the girl against her chest. "It's okay, sweetheart," she whispered, stroking her hair. Michael's face darkened even more. "Get away from her," he snapped. "You are staff, not family. Don't touch my daughter as if you have the right." For years, Isabella had endured words like knives, each one cutting deeper than the last. She had swallowed her pride, kept her head low, and told herself it was just a job. But tonight, seeing Lily trembling in fear, something inside her broke. Her body shook, not with fear, but with a long-buried fire. She straightened her back, stepped closer to Michael, and did something she never imagined. She placed her hand firmly on his shoulder, her grip steady, her eyes filled with tears, but unflinching. "Shut up," she said. The room froze. Laura's gasp sliced the silence. Lily buried her face deeper into Isabella's chest. Michael turned slowly, disbelief flashing across his face. No one, not business rivals, not even his wife, had ever dared speak to him like this. What did you just say? He demanded, his voice low, dangerous. Isabella's voice trembled, but her courage burned brighter. I told you to shut up, because your words are killing more than you realize. Michael's jaw tightened. Explain yourself, right now. Tears welled in Isabella's eyes. Her hands trembled as she held Lily tighter. She looked directly into Michael's eyes, her voice breaking but fierce. You see me as just a maid, but you don't know my story. Years ago, I was a wife and a mother. My little boy's name is Mateo. He was 8 years old. He loved to draw. He loved to sing. He was the light of my life. But his father, my husband, was a man like you, proud, controlling. Always shouting. He thought strength meant power, and power meant fear. Our house was filled with anger every day. She paused, her tears spilling freely now. And do you know what happened? That anger broke my son's spirit. He grew quieter, more afraid, until one night, his little heart simply couldn't take it anymore. He collapsed. The doctors said it was stress, trauma, too much fear for such a young soul. I held him in my arms as his tiny chest stopped breathing. I screamed for him to come back, but he was gone. My baby was gone. Laura covered her mouth with her hand, sobbing silently. Isabella's voice grew stronger. Since then, every time I hear shouting, I see my boy's face. And tonight, when I saw Lily trembling just like he used to, I couldn't stay quiet. I won't let another child suffer what my son suffered. Not in front of me. Not while I'm alive. That's why I told you to shut up. Not for me, for her. The weight of her words crushed the room. Michael staggered back, his fury dissolving into shock. He looked at Lily, his daughter, shivering in fear, clinging to Isabella as if she were the only safe place in the world. He swallowed hard, his voice weak. Is that how she sees me? As a monster? Laura finally spoke, her voice trembling. Michael, look at her. She's terrified of you. You think your strength makes this family strong, but it's tearing us apart. If you keep this up, you'll lose her, and maybe you'll lose us both. Michael dropped into his chair, his head in his hands. For the first time in years, he wasn't the man in control. He was just a broken child, remembering his own father's violent shouts, the same fear that once haunted his nights. He whispered to himself, I swore I'd never become him, but I already have. Minutes stretched into hours. Silence hung heavy, broken only by the sound of rain against the windows. Finally, Michael rose. He walked toward Isabella and Lily slowly, each step heavier than the last. He knelt before them, his voice softer than anyone had ever heard. Isabella, I don't deserve forgiveness, but you saved me tonight. You stopped me from destroying my family. Thank you. From this day forward, you're not just staff in this house. You are family. Isabella's tears fell, but this time they carried relief. Michael reached for his daughter. Lily hesitated, then slowly loosened her grip on Isabella and stepped into her father's arms. He hugged her tightly, whispering, I'm sorry, my angel. I'll change. I promise you. The next morning, sunlight poured through the mansion's wide windows. The house felt alive in a way it hadn't in years. Laughter replaced shouting. Michael sat at the table with Laura, Lily, and Isabella. For the first time, they shared breakfast as a family. Michael pulled out a chair for Isabella and said softly, Please, sit with us. You belong here. From that day forward, Michael worked tirelessly to control his temper. He attended therapy, read books on parenting, and learned to speak with kindness. Laura rediscovered her strength. Lily blossomed into a confident, joyful girl. And Isabella, though her own scars would never fully fade, finally found peace, knowing her son's memory had given another child a safer life. Because sometimes, It takes the courage of the quietest voice to silence the loudest. Words are not just sounds. They carry power. They can scar deeper than wounds, or they can heal stronger than medicine. One cruel sentence can break a spirit, and one gentle word can save a soul. So choose wisely. Speak with kindness, because one voice, no matter how quiet, can change a life forever.